sweat and toil competing in the Thunder Drag Series, it is anything but a walk in the park. The work is hard when you're in the business of manufacturing low ETs and building dreams. Dreams like that of a little boy who knows big trucks can fly. He's seen it, and these crewmen have seen to that. They stand by their product, and their satisfied customers keep coming back for more. This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the best in MTRA monster truck racing. Today, it's the Monster Truck Thunder Drags from the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds in Springfield, Missouri. This is race number 7 on the PENDA Point Series. Hi, everybody, I'm Gary Lee, and welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power. You know, with 3 straight races here in the Show Me State, we have now reached the halfway point in the PENDA Points Championship. And in the points, Andy Brass and Bigfoot continues to lead big, over 1,000 points over second place, the Power Wheels Bigfoot, and third is Barefoot with Fred Schaefer. Now fourth is Snakebite, and fifth is Monster Patrol. So once again, we've reached the halfway point. We're about ready for action in round 2, so let's go trackside to Army Armstrong.
Gary, right now we are just a little bit past halfway in the season. Matter of fact, just one race past halfway. We're not going to concede a championship to anybody, but this guy right here, Andy Brass from Bob Chandler's foot, 2 years in a row national champ, current national points leader. Watch him, because what's happening here is this team of Bob Chandler's, the Bigfoot Cruiser, the blue truck, and the Bigfoot Power Wheels team of Dan Runte are comparing information. Man, they're just like two computers that every time they make a run, they spit out info that the other team can use. None of the other teams are doing that. They're all trying to do it privateer style, and it's just not going to work. What's going to happen, I don't care if you drive a Dodge or a Chevrolet, you better get with the guy next to you and take your knowledge to him, let him give his knowledge to you, and trying to beat these guys. But the way things stand right now, the Blue Oval bunch are the bad boys of the sport, and they're not taking any prisoners. They're going for the 3rd World Championship. Back to you, Gary.
Army, as we mentioned, we're getting ready for round 2 competition, but first let's take you back and show you some highlights from round 1. Dan Runte was the quick qualifier, and he got a bye run in round 1. And he steps up to better his qualifying pass by a full 1/10 of a second, 5.05. Also in round 1, the 5th fast qualifier, the Dodge Express of Ray Perkowski against Dan Patrick and Sampson. Patrick was the 10th fast qualifier, and the Dodge Express took that one.
But the big story of the year and the day could be Kirk Dabney, who's the overkill driver this year, and he has qualified so quick all year long, dominating in qualifying, but getting past the first round. Another story. He didn't have that problem as Gary Wiggins driving Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher. No match for the Mountain Motor Ford.
Andy Brass, the 4th fast qualifier in Bigfoot, against the young lady Pam Botters in the Boogie Van, and this was Andy Brass. Takes that victory with a 5.06.
Also in the first round competition, Paul Schaefer comes out with the wings, and it seemed to work for him as he goes up against one of the hot coming teams, the Hall Brother Racing team, but Mark Hall, no match for the wing this time, Gary.
Colt Cobra, the 2nd quick qualifier here this afternoon, would take on Fred Schaefer in Barefoot. Fred Schaefer loses this one at a 5.35. Colt wins it at 5.08. So Colt will continue on into round 2. Well, we got some more monster trucks battling here in the grandstands. As we take a look now at the pairings for round 2, you can see it's the Power Wheels Bigfoot against the Dodge Express, Overkill against Bigfoot Cruiser, Monster Patrol against Snakebite.
Gary, right now going into the 2nd round, the only hope, the great red hope, if you will, for the Dodge team is Ray Perkowski, as Fred Schaefer was eliminated earlier in round 1 competition. So if you pull for Dodge, you're pulling against this guy. Dan Runte will be in the other lane from that Dodge in that Ford Power Wheels.
And there's a look at Ray out of St. Louis. So both these trucks come out of the St. Louis area. The Bigfoot Power Wheels version. The fast qualifier here this afternoon with Dan Runte. He'll be in the lane closest to our camera shot right there. Ray Porkowski in the Dodge. So it's Dodge against Ford here in round 2.
Both trucks working a line. Dan Runte is dead on that tree. Truck, that's just almost a perfect run. Whoa, Perkowski's having some trouble.
Oh, yes, some major problems as he takes down the fence. And you can see the damage under the truck. He lost some suspension there.
The rear end went away on that truck is what caused the problem. He did a yeoman's job of keeping it at least right side up. Something broke on that truck in the back. Let's see if we can see on the replay.
On the right side of your screen, watch Ray Porkowski.
Okay, he lays it down in no man's land when it right there. It broke. Yeah, broke before the second jump. See the rear steer? Right now, he's just along for the ride. Hello, fence.
That fence is taking a beating this weekend. Pam Vodders found the fence earlier in the weekend, so we'll clean up this mess, and we'll come back to Springfield with more side-by-side monster truck racing. A shot of the Dodge Express being pulled back to the pit area earlier, and standing by right now with the Dodge team members is Army Armstrong.
Gary, we're standing down here with the Dodge boys, the owner, the driver, and everything. First of all, Ray, I'm glad to see you're okay. Did you have any idea that you were going to have a problem like that when you came over the first jump?
No, I had no idea. I mean, as soon as the truck hit the ground, I thought it was still together until we went about 30, 40 feet, and then I knew something was coming apart.
Okay, what did come apart?
I think one of the heim joints on the four-link bars broke, and that started it.
Okay, is that where we were seeing the blue smoke come from, Fred? You know, this morning there was some concern over the vehicle tracking itself. You had everything lined up, and something still lets go in the rear end.
Yeah, Army, after the 4-bar bracket broke, then everything started crashing and everything. That's what holds the rear end straight. Tire got in the shock absorber, tore it off, shock oil all over everything.
Fellas, I'm just going to be real blunt with you. Is there any way to catch these Fords this year?
Oh, we're going to do it.
They got a real good lead on us, Army. That suspension they got is working real good on that track. We're going to have to make some changes.
Well, the Dodge folks could certainly use some help from this Ford right here. There's Kirk Dabney in overkill, and he'll pull alongside Big Blue, Bigfoot, Andy Brass. There's Brass out of St. Louis, Missouri. In the Bigfoot Cruiser, he continues to cruise in the lead of the PENDA Points Championship. Kirk Dabney comes out of Columbia City, Indiana, the driver of the Ford Overkill.
Dabney is an awfully good driver. He's always dealt with equipment that wasn't really up to spec. On the other side of the ledger, Andy Brass, class equipment all the way through. He also a good driver.
Oh, Brass just does ease that fender by ever so close, but Brass wins it in the Cruiser at 5:16. So Andy Brass continues to head toward another world championship. There's Kirk Dabney's 5.28. Now remember, the fast loser from this round will come back, so Dabney could stand a chance of seeing more action this afternoon.
You're exactly right, and that's one of the things I really like about the sport. They try to keep side-by-side racing. We've got a good race right here. Like I say, Dabney left on him, but the suspension that Fred Schaefer alluded to a little bit earlier seems to be sticking the horsepower to the ground a little bit better, a little bit quicker for the Big Blue Oval bunch.
Coming up next in the far lane, that's the Monster Patrol with Paul Schaefer, and the near lane, as we take a look at Schaefer there from Portage, Indiana, the Monster Patrol. The near lane will be Colt Cobra, the menacing one from Cobra Creek, Colorado in Snakebite. That's the Ford.
Well, Colt Cobra knows what he has to do is get past his Chevrolet, and the Chevrolet knows he's got an uphill battle. Paul Schaefer has proven himself in the sport of mud racing, a past world champion. Right now comes out to go monster truck racing with no wing on the far side. Both of them are in trouble.
Pulls off. This could be a mistake. Now let's watch Paul. Paul gets his going again, continues on. Colt will be disqualified, and Paul could win this one with the slowest winning time in the history of monster truck racing.
Yeah, but Gary, when you go to the bank on Monday morning, they don't care how fast or how slow it was. They just want to make sure the money was good.
Well, the money was good, but it's a 1675 for the Monster Patrol, and Colt Cobra was DQ'd. So, a mistake for Colt to drive out. Oh, look at this. Meanwhile, the man who stands as our fast loser, Kirk Dabney, appears to be having problems. What if he's not able to continue? Let's go back and take a look at the replay. Cobra comes right at you. Now, right here, he gets in trouble and pulls off. This was a mistake. He should have gone on over that second batch of cars. Meanwhile, here was your winner.
Real quick, it sounded like the motor just cut clean on you when you went over the first jump. But a win is a win is a win, and I know you take them any way you can, but do you have any idea what happened?
Well, the motor hesitated, and it like died, and I got out of it, and I looked over, and I seen Snakebite broke something. I said, I better finish this race.
Finish at a 1675, slow but quick enough to go to the semis. A typical summer day here in the Ozarks, partly cloudy skies. It is hot, it is humid, and the competition is just as hot. Fred Schaefer, in fact, a fast loser from round one, is hopping back in his machine. Apparently, he's going to race more. Let's listen in if we can.
Get in and get ready. We'll be done.
Well, let's go down trackside to Army Armstrong.
Well, Gary, the drama was short-lived. The drive shaft in the overkill truck, there was just no way they could get it fixed in time. Operations manager George Carpenter came over and said, look, fellas, let's be above board about it. We're running for points. Schaefer's ready to go. There's no way they can get this thing ready to go. the ruling is it has to be a competitive run. They could piecemeal it and just go to the line and get their points and everything, but everybody wants to see racing. And I got a feeling that Fred Schaefer will do the same thing for these guys too. So the stage is set. Schaefer's back in a Dodge, but he is going to be in a bad lane. Let's see what happens.
The pairings now for the semis will have the Power Wheels Bigfoot against Barefoot, the Bigfoot Cruiser against the Monster Patrol. So we'll see what Fred Schaefer can do. New life for Barefoot. It will be Ford against Dodge and Ford against Chevy. Let's quickly go down. Army, is there a problem with Barefoot?
I tell you what, Gary, the drama still builds. Even when Fred went to the starting line, the motor leaned out. They actually checked the kill switch, but when they checked the kill switch and went to start up again, it wouldn't start. That's why the drama was building, because the crew members had to come out, prime the engine, get him going again. Now, let's go racing.
Well, you have to wonder. Fred gets a second chance. They have some trouble getting that Dodge fired. But here it is. There's a good look at the Barefoot Dodge. Fred Schaefer out of Pontoon Beach, Illinois.
The big question, can that big Dodge who just got fired be like the Phoenix and come back to win this thing?
Come back from the ashes of defeat. We'll find out. Dan Runte staging the Power Wheels Bigfoot. He is second in the PENDA Point Series right now behind his teammate Andy Brass.
Every win today has come out of the lane that Runte's in right now. Schaefer has got to throw caution to the wind and go after this kid. It's not going to work here.
Nope, Runte takes this one again in that near lane. Runte takes the victory. He goes on to the championship round, a 5:11. And of course, Dan was the fast qualifier earlier today. So Runte wins that one with the 5:11 ET.
And the Dodge boys are still looking for whatever they lost from last year. They just can't put their finger on it, Gary.
Well, that has to be so frustrating because Fred was so competitive last year. We really thought that this would be the year for Dodge.
And it's not in the engine or the drivetrain compartment. It's got to be suspension. It's just the chassis. You know, I don't know what to tell you. He just lost it.
Looking again, coming right at you from the crash cam. Here they are, and Runte goes right overhead. Duck! As the Ford knocks the Dodge from competition. So let's take this opportunity now to go down trackside as we take a look at Bigfoot starting to stage. Let's go trackside to Army Armstrong.
Dan, it was really weird when you went out there. A lot of changes going on. Did it bother you, the fact that Fred was coming out next to you?
Yeah, Army, you got to look at it because Fred's always tough no matter what happens. You know, he come back and he'll run a good time even if it is a bad lane. Fred's an old competitor. He's been at it a lot longer than I have with Ford Power Wheels Bigfoot with Firestone behind us. We just walked the dog.
That's what you call it, walking the dog, Army.
I'll tell you what, that dog was howling. It'll hunt today.
There's a look at Monster Patrol. There's a look at Bigfoot. Now, earlier, Army, you said all the winds had come from that near lane, the right lane. Now, keep in mind, for all intent and purposes, you're right, but that freak victory for Monster Patrol when he was just crawling across the finish line and Snakebite was DQ'd.
Okay, Gary, I mean, all the racing winds came out of the right lane.
All
Let's
right,
see if
well,
we can
you're
do it
right.
again.
Technically, you're right.
Now,
Just
folks,
wanted to clarify that.
Gary's just trying to protect you folks back home right now. Bigfoot is trying to put that Chevy on the trailer. Bingo!
No problem. Bigfoot does exactly that, so it's Ford in the finals. Bigfoot Cruiser a 5:13. Now remember, Runte ran a 5:11, so it's almost a toss-up. There's Monster Patrol, and Monster Patrol's time was a 5:86.
Boy, the lane is playing havoc. Who's going to get the bad lane in the final? That's going to be the big question. Replay comes up showing you Andy Brass sits in the middle. He's the gentle giant of this sport. Believe me, he is a driver's driver.
Well, it looks like Runte may have lane choice. He ran a 5:11 to the 5:13. So let's go down now and talk to Andy Brass.
Andy, I tell you what, this thing just keeps getting more and more exciting all the time. Well, Chevrolet did get to you in that round, but couldn't hold you off.
Yeah, it did. You know, we come away with the round there in the wind. You know, we was just trying to pull out a fast time to get us a lane choice, but I don't think we was able to do it this round. So we're just going to probably end up and get stuck in the other lane and just give it the best we got.
So a pair of Fords in the championship shootout. The Monster Truck Thunder Drags are part of the Special Events Performance Series. It's a weekend of four-wheel fun featuring something for everybody. Pick up the latest in parts and accessories with a visit to the manufacturer's Midway. There's also several categories of show and shine competition. Contact the Special Events Promotion Company to find out when one of these events will be coming to your area. Welcome back to the Monster Truck Thunder Drags here in Springfield, Missouri in the Ozarks as we're getting ready for championship round competition.
Well, the championship round's setting up, but on the other side, Mike Botters, one of the privateers in the sport, the Boogie Van owner, driven by his wife, Pam. loads up, heads down the road.
There's Dan Runte in the Power Wheels Bigfoot, and there is a shot of Bigfoot, the cruiser. Andy Brass is getting settled into the cockpit. We take you back to round 2 competition now with Dan Runte in the near lane, Ray Porkowski, the Dodge Express in the far lane. Porkowski gets in trouble right here, breaks his suspension. There goes the shock, and he heads for the fence. Bang, there goes the fence. But Ray Porkowski and Pam Botters and the Monsters were not the only ones in the fence. As we saw last night, Bruce Scott in his 78 Jeep also had some trouble, and he hammers the fence.
Yeah, but I tell you what, the old cameraman stayed with this rascal.
Never blinked.
No, Buddy looked down and said, hey, this puppy's still running. Let's go. I'm out of here.
All 4 wheels were hanging on it. The engine's running. Let's get out of here.
Cameraman's got a death grip on the bar, and here we go.
Tough truck competition now from today. Hang on, Buddy Long, a 74 Ford Bronco.
The finish line is when you hit the big old tire. He's
or
there.
drive over it.
Or get stuck on top of it.
Another regular in his zebra-painted Bronco. Here is Shane Ballard. We've seen him in Bloomsburg before.
That's
Look
right.
at the air.
That's a white Bronco with black stripes. No, a black Bronco with white stripes.
Whatever.
Yeah.
He's a crowd favorite. Man, can he get some air when he's skies in that thing. And here's Daryl Gutter, an 88 Toyota.
A good-looking, basically street truck, and he's not afraid to drive it.
He's got the windshield wiper on. Well, this is the final day of competition here in Springfield, and these guys let it all hang out. And speaking of putting it on kill, the big boys, the pros, the Monsters are set up for their final challenge.
Runte and Brass sounds like a accounting firm on Wall Street. That's not the case today. They're 2 bad boys in the Blue Oval Bunch Ford. Ford making a final for I don't know how many times this year. They are really, for such thing as a manufacturer dominating a sport, Ford has done it this year in this circuit, Gary.
Yeah, and it's somewhat of a surprise because last year at this time, we really thought that Fred Schaefer would be a guy to reckon with in the Dodge.
And the only person to break the Ford's stranglehold on it was a Chevrolet. So, you know, this sport is going and growing, and every week, everybody in their heart thinks they can get these guys. So far, it's not been the case.
In the semis, remember, it was Dan Runte's 5.11 to Andy Brass's 5.13 that gave Runte lane choice, and to no one's surprise, he takes the near lane.
Exactly. Let's see what's going to happen. We've been talking all day long. It's time to race right now.
They were ever so close to semis, which would indicate this should be a real close one. Oh, look at Runte. Not really all that close.
Whoa, Runte came out of... Well, Andy Brass had to make some chassis adjustments. Runte goes at 06. Woo, quick time of the day, a 5.06 on the final. But Andy Brass knew he's going to have to take a shot in the dark, do some chassis changes. It just didn't work for him. He powered up in no man's land. Runte goes to the other end, Gary.
So Runte wins it, trying to close the gap on Andy Brass, who's leading now in the PENDA Points Championship. We take a look again, and Brass just could not get that truck to settle down in no man's land. And Dan Runte takes the victory, and he's standing by pit side with Army Armstrong.
Well, Dan, I tell you what, congratulations to you and the crew. Everybody really had to work for this one.
Thanks, Army. Yeah, they did. You know, the crew's been working real hard between the 2 trucks. We got to give them all the credit in the world. It's just not everything, you know, to come out here and be able to work with a bunch of guys like we work with, including the guys back at the shop, take care of us, build reliable trucks, along with Ford Motor Company. It's just great, Army. I love it.
Well, here's a treat for you. We'll give you a hedgehog view of victory. Coming right at you, up and over. Now let's go back trackside and talk with Andy Brass.
Gary, we're down here with Andy Brass. And Andy, I know you had to pull everything out going to the left side, but it looked like you got a whole lot of air in between the jumps.
Yeah, we tried something way different that round. We knew we was going in. We had to take the left lane there. We knew the lane was going to be bad, but nobody come out of the left lane with a win all day. So we was watching the times there, and we knew we was gonna, like you say, we was gonna have to pull something out of the hat. So we just geared down low and tried a 3rd gear takeoff, something we've been wanting to try. We figured, well, we didn't have nothing to lose. We was gonna go ahead and try it. We was hoping we could slip a little bit off the line, but it did pull harder than what we thought it would, and it launched us off the set. We thought we was gonna slip a little bit over the first set and could pick it up between the cars, but it didn't happen.
We can show you now what we were talking about with the Ford dominance in the PENDA Points Series. Andy Brass continues to lead. Dan Runte has closed in ever so slightly, however. Fred Schaefer back in 3rd, then the Ford of Colt Cobra and Paul Schaefer's Chevrolet in the 5th spot. And Dan Runte has closed in just a bit on Andy Brass.
Yeah, I just heard Runte look over to Brass and said, boy, the only thing better than this is Mama's cooking.
And Mama's Cooking's not that far away because these guys are both in the St. Louis, Missouri area, the birthplace of monster truck racing about 10 years ago. So our congratulations to Dan Runte, who does, in fact, close in just a bit in the points chase. Now only some 750 points behind Andy Brass in the Bigfoot. Oh, this has got to hurt. Oh, that'll get your attention. Our congratulations to Dan Runte. We'll see you next week. Now here's news and an exciting video release from Diamond P Sports.
Bring the excitement of mud monster truck racing into your living room with Diamond P's newest horsepower hit. Trust me, you're in there with this third strike. Shake, battle, and roll 3. It's all new and all you come to expect, from the outrageous mishaps of the monster truck racing to the raucous rampage through the mud bogs. Shake, battle, and roll 3 is a must for any and every monster truck fan in the house. Over 60 minutes of jarring and pounding, mud and mayhem, and accelerated aerobatics you don't want to miss. To get your copy of Shake, Battle, and Roll 3, call 1-800-438-8585 or send $19.95 check or money order plus $4 shipping and handling to the address shown on your screen, or charge it on your MasterCard, Visa, or Discovery card. Call 1-800-438-8585 for Shake, Battle, and Roll 3.